Cut to the Chase with Jen and Dan, episode 4. My name is Dan Ferullo and my lovely co-host Jennifer Freed. How's your week this week, Jen?
It's been excellent. I have recovered from my sugar rush from the milkshakes, which were awesome, and I thought it was hilarious that, our toppings, we were like picking them, eating them, they were dancing off. I loved our little friends visiting, getting their ice cream, while we were doing our episode. I thought it was a really fun experiment to kind of like hop, out of our little studios. We're actually at my place, so welcome.
Yeah, new studio today.
So my husband's dad actually painted, I don't know if you can see behind us the picture, so welcome to mi casa.
Yes, yeah, new studio today, so it's cool to get a chance to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, and podcast people, we do put these out on YouTube, so if you're brave enough and want to see what we look like and how awkward yours truly is on video, go for it. If not, stick with the audio.
I think we all feel we're a little awkward on video, but we're really not.
It's fun though.
It is fun. Actually, this has been a really fun. I guess this is our 4th week doing this, and it's been really, really fun to kind of stay up to date on what's going on with the real estate world, but also just a chance to collaborate with you and just share what our experiences have been. So yeah, this has been great, and we're really enjoying it and looking forward to the next 4 weeks and
I know, and more. And it's it's been good to connect with you guys as well. So make sure you keep reaching out on Facebook and on Instagram, and make sure that you give us a little review in the iTunes.
Yes, please, reviews and comments.
Because we're a baby podcast.
Yeah, so we definitely need those. So let's jump into. We have 3 articles today that we want to go over. So the first one is a nice quick one: 4 maintenance chores that your clients shouldn't delay. So you, as whether you're a real estate agent or whether you are a home seller, or if you're just a homeowner, their home maintenance is super important because it keeps your house from having major problems down the road. And I noticed last week when I was watching the video that I said too much, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit more present about that and keep myself from doing that. So number 1, clean your gutters. So debris like leaves and sticks and grime and stuff all get in gutters really easily. So I think once a year, that's really something that you want to make sure to keep clean, right?
Yeah, and if you don't feel comfortable getting up there yourself, there are a wide range of prices of ways you can get people in to do that work for you. So Definitely. As simple as a handy person on Craigslist down to formal companies that will do it every year on a system, will check out your roof while they're doing it. So lots of choices there.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 2, check your HVAC system. So you should change your filters out once a month. You can buy those on Amazon for super cheap. If any condensation is gathering on the outdoor AC unit, you want to flush the condensate drain, which I didn't know this, with soapy hot water and vinegar. And you should hire a professional twice a year just to kind of keep it operating correctly and potentially stave off an expensive replacement.
Yeah, I have to say this is the one thing that most people are surprised at when they go to sell their house and they're walking around saying like, so what do we need to do before we go on the market? And I say, no matter what, when the home inspector comes through, they're going to look at the last time your furnace, and if you have central air, that unit was serviced.
Yes, definitely.
And they'll be like, oh, wow, we haven't done that in like 5 years. And I have to say, the furnace gets darn hot. And we change the oil in our cars, very frequently. So if you translate that to your furnace, really, the easiest thing to do is bite the bullet, get a service plan. It'll automatically happen once a year. They're going to come out, and then you have the service tag, and it'll actually save you from some costly repairs, because little things as they start to go will get replaced instead of nobody looked at it for 5 years and then all of a sudden, and it's always when we have the first big freeze, furnace dies. Yeah. So that's the one that catches everybody by surprise, but yeah, furnace every year.
Yes, for sure. Number 3, flush out any plumbing clogs. So even small plumbing clogs, or even like a small drain clog in your shower, can become more problematic if you don't take care of it right away. So regularly remove grime and hair buildup. I usually keep a bottle of liquid plumber or Drano in my, under my medicine cabinet so that I can just use that usually every, once a month or so, just to make sure that that doesn't become a problem. And
I think we might have one of our first disagreements. I don't liquid plumber if I can help it.
okay.
I try to do
Why
like
is that?
I do the baking soda, vinegar, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't even know about that.
It's a polarizing topic, if you can believe it. Some people love the stuff and some people don't. Some people don't think that the natural products really get everything out, and some folks against any brand or natural versus chemical. But yeah, let us know which way you clean your plumbing out.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, like I said, I didn't even know about the natural way. I've just always
Yeah, it's
used.
like at the coffee shop where they put two movies out and those are the two tip jars. Like
Yeah.
so, obviously, Team Jen, vinegar, baking soda, right in foam, beautiful,
Yeah,
natural,
nice. I guess I'll have to try that.
no acid.
I'll have to try
Well, I
that.
mean, there's acid, but natural.
And number 4, address insect problems. So insects can be really quite a pain, from ants to termites to, I don't even want to say cockroaches because they're disgusting, but they can get into your wood, they can damage your house, and at the first sign of them, definitely either there are home remedies, but then also sometimes a professional like such as Terminex or something like that is really nice to have coming 4 times a year or so, just to kind of keep everything being defensive about it rather than moving on the offense.
Yeah, a small fix now is much better than having to fix a whole bunch of these issues like when you want to go move into your next building.
Yeah, absolutely. So home maintenance, like we said, is super important. It really helps to mitigate any costly repairs down the road. That's the main focus of the article, and the main focus of keeping up with the maintenance at your house. And that way, we've seen too many times that things haven't been taken care of, and then it costs a lot of money to take care of at the end.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think it's really easy to focus on getting your loan and then figuring out what you want your monthly housing payment to be. But honestly, the thing that nobody talks about is how much money are we going to set aside every year for the maintenance on our home. So not renovation projects, but I'm going to call it, tires, oil changes, brake pads. Our house is like our car.
Yeah.
It needs stuff like that every single year. So you're going to need a pile of money somewhere to take care of those things. And if you don't, those things still occur. So at some point in time, you end up paying the piper one way or another.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's okay. It's okay if you end up taking a lower price at sale. That's all right. But do know that you can't put it all off and then be like, but my neighbor's house sold for $500,000. Be like, yeah, but every single year they made about $2,000 worth of, we took care of the ant problem. We cleaned the gutters. We made sure that the basement didn't, wasn't damp. Those kinds of things. Food for thought.
Yeah, thank you for that. So, jumping into the next article. So that was a Realtor Magazine article, which we'll of course link up in the show notes and on the YouTube page. And then jumping into the next one, this article is from CNBC. The title is "The Housing Market is About to Shift in a Bad Way for Buyers."
Ooh, I hate those headlines because I read this one. I threw this out and I'm like, man, that would make me freak out if I wasn't a real estate agent. Because, that tells you everything you need to know. It's bad. Man, it's bad out there. Bad for buyers.
And while we are certainly seeing that inventory levels are still not where we'd like them to be, or that, so the article is basically saying that we're headed back towards where we were throughout 2017, or the first half of 2018, where inventory levels were at a historic low. And we have seen that this spring, I think the market it hit a little bit later than we had expected because of the spring, or I'm sorry, the summer. I'm sorry, the
Winter,
winter,
spring, summer, fall.
not leaving as quickly as we would have liked it to. And
Yeah, so people didn't put their homes on the market when a lot of people typically do, which is in February, March, April. We were still getting socked with a lot of snow. So we waited longer to get homes on the market. So it took us longer to get to the point where we were seeing a lot more houses on the market. So all the numbers reflect that, but the headline is making it sound like it's completely doom and gloom for buyers. And it was CNBC, and again, I'm totally not against any news outlet, but I'm really protective of facts. And is that true for every single market in the United States? No, that would be impossible. So does this article apply to us is why I wanted to talk about it.
mm-hmm.
And no, I mean, it takes it's good to take pause and say, like, how much of it is true for us. And while it is true, if you're shopping for a house, you aren't going to go out there and find 25 houses tomorrow that are exactly your criteria. But you know what? If you have a little bit of time to shop, you're going to find 25 houses over a certain period of time that might match your criteria. Mm-hmm. So you might have to just adjust the length of time of your search, but there's still great stuff out there to shop for. Just because you can't get it drive-through style isn't necessarily a bad thing. It might actually give you a little bit of time to inhale, which is good.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, I think the overall thing that we're trying to say here is that while inventory levels are still low and they're saying that they're expected to flatten a little bit, and there could be a decline in inventory that's coming on the market, that there could certainly be some increased competition like we had been seeing. And I mean, but we've been seeing that throughout the spring, and that's kind of, I think, also where the difference is in the Seacoast area. We've still been seeing multiple offers on lots of properties, lots of competition out there still. So we haven't seen any decline in that. So it could continue on like that. And, we're certainly hoping for some more inventory, and that's kind of what we're working for. We certainly try to go out and get more listings so that there is more inventory for the buyers out there. But, it's still been a crazy market that we're not seeing much of a change yet.
Yeah, and the bottom line is, no matter what, people always have to buy and sell because of life circumstances, no matter what the market. So there are always going to be choices out there, no matter what the news headline is.
Absolutely, and if you've been looking for a property and haven't been able to find one, there's always options like new construction. Lots of builders are building lots of houses, and that's always an option to build your dream house. And then you can, that way you're not really affected by the housing shortage. So that's certainly an option too.
Yeah, and like 2 shows ago, you were talking about how now they have special loans where you could find the house that has the right bones.
True.
And then roll into the price, making the renovations to make it exactly what you were looking for. So, stay positive, folks. Don't let those headlines get you down, because you have to read further and do your homework to know if it applies to our market, if it's a nationally done article.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last one, which kind of ties into this same article. I'm sorry, it's not the same article, but it sort of ties in. Talks about that delinquency rates in mortgages hit a 20-year low. So right now, in April, only 3.6% of mortgages were in some stage of delinquency. So that's only less than 4% of people in the country who have mortgages are late by more than 15 days, which is phenomenal.
That's absolutely incredible. And that also kind of goes to show you, if you are renting right now, the advantages of getting out of your rental into a stable payment that isn't going to change all the time like your rent can. Taking advantage of that how successful you can be. I think when you see high rates of delinquency, I think it's either questionable lending or bad financial decisions. So I think this is a sign of some really healthy financial decisions being made, and I think some renters that have switched over perhaps are leading to those numbers. What do you think?
Absolutely. And the article, it cites a 50-year low in unemployment, rising home prices, and responsible underwriting. So we know that it's not quite as easy to get a mortgage now as it was back into before the housing crash, and they're being careful about who they're lending to. So this is helping to keep keep the economy strong and to help the housing market continue to flourish, hopefully.
Excellent.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, that was all that we had for today.
Yeah, there's your 3 topics. So thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. If you have any comments about anything that we were talking about, like I said, we'll link the articles up in the show notes, but we would love to hear your thoughts about any of these, and leave us a comment or review on iTunes. We look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure, if you're a fact person like me, the articles do cite where they've gotten all their data from.
Yeah,
and it's important to me that you know where the information source is. And you'll be surprised to see that many articles from different publications are citing the same sources and saying opposing things, which is truly fascinating. Mm-hmm. So hope this show is helping you straighten things out a little bit. Have a good week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
Bye.